Now, the New York Times put out a opinion piece about your boy, Mayor Eric Adams. All right, hip hop mayor, the Biden of New York, son. You know what I'm saying? Mayor Eric Adams turns his back on immigrants and New York's legacy. All of this right here, 7:30, son. It's because of Mayor Eric Adams. Word of mother, B. You know what I'm saying? Word of mother, B. Kids out there sleeping on the streets, son. Since last year, tens of thousands of asylum seekers have arrived in New York City from the southern border and around the world, seeking a better life in a place that has welcomed generations of immigrants since its founding. What place is that? I know they're not talking about the United States. Where did the United States welcome any immigrants to? Because how do we have all of these slavery stories and Italians used to have it worse than black people if the United States was so welcoming to immigrants? Irish people were slaves too. Here in the United States, welcoming to immigrants? Shout out to my man Ricky Jones. What's good with it, bro? Think about that. Think about all of these false narratives that don't make any sense. And these are the things that these people need to be hammered on and smothered on so that they never mention the nonsense ever again. And then brought back up and reminded of how stupid they are every time they come in orbit. Okay? What many of those migrants have found instead is a tepid welcome amid a housing crisis that has left the city barely equipped to offer them more than a meal in hotels that used to house a booming homeless population. They are lucky if they get a bed. I guarantee you that they would have had a bed had they stayed in the country that they live in. I guarantee you that, or they would have had at least something to sleep on. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. They would have had something to sleep on had they stayed where they was at. Now, check this out. I can go outside my front door, right? And I could wander as far as I can. It's not guaranteed that I'm going to have anything to sleep on. But if I stay my ass here inside of my house, I know that I have a bed. I know that I have a couch. I know that my floor is clean, right? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody watching. We got 59 people watching and we got 47 likes. If everybody could smash that like button and get us over 70, that would be great. And also, if you're not subscribed, make sure you take a moment and hit that bell icon twice and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. What's good with it, bro? In recent days, the slapdash system the city has built to address the crisis has broken down completely, leaving migrants sleeping on Midtown streets. The city says there is no more room for them, but advocates say that it needs to try harder. Here's my question for you guys, and I need everybody in the comment section to help me with this. What could they possibly do? What more could they possibly do? They're already doing every damn thing. What more could they do? What is the expectation here? What's the expectation here? What are we supposed to be doing? How far out this window are we supposed to jump? And on Sunday, the Times reported that look at this. On Sunday, the Times, of course, that's the New York Times, reported that a shady contractor tapped by New York's mayor, Eric Adams, to send asylum seekers upstate and provide them with services, harassed them instead. So again, they're trying to pin this on Eric Adams. I want you guys to pay attention to what media outlets it is that are trying to slam Eric Adams. I want you guys to pay close attention to that. The city's taxpayers, look at this. Shout out to Kid Gravity. I don't know if Kid Gravity's still in here. The city's taxpayers are footing the bill for this abuse to the tune of $432 million. This immigration crisis, shout out to Maya. What's good with it, Maya? This immigration crisis in New York City, this migrant crisis, is costing taxpayers $432 million. Let me ask you guys a question. You guys think that New Yorkers are happy about that? If you guys think that the New Yorkers are happy about that, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. The curiously large no-bid contract with DocGo, a medical services company, should have never been signed and needs to be terminated. All right, so I don't know what's going on with that. It's true, as Mr. Adams has repeatedly said, that this crisis is a national issue which requires action from the White House and Congress. Cities like New York, which has more than 100,000 people living in shelters, cannot be expected to welcome asylum seekers on their own. More than 90,000 migrants have arrived in New York City over the past year, many as part of a political stunt by Texas, Florida, and Arizona. Now, here's my question. Is this a political stunt? Let's break this down real quick. We know that it is a political stunt, but let's think about it in its entirety. New York and Chicago and all of those different places literally said that that's what they wanted and that they would house all those immigrants. Those mayors or those governors and mayors and all those people in those red states that sent the migrants up there, they said, you guys want to be sanctuary cities? Here goes some people to give sanctuary to. That's what they did. Now, is it political? Of course it's political, but it's not outside the realms of being unfair. So since they boasted and wanted to be these cities that were known for having these huge hearts and caring for all these migrants, okay, now you got them. Handle your business. But they're not handling business. What's happening is that the business is handling them. Though immigrants strengthen the U.S. economy and are a vital part of a vital fabric of the democracy. Now, and here's my question. How is it that immigrants strengthen the U.S. economy? And how are they a vital part of the fabric of the democracy? How is that? Anybody got any ideas on how either of those things is true? Because I don't know. I don't know how either of those things is true. Local governments can't simply absorb tens of thousands of people without help, especially for housing, and their taxpayers in New York and elsewhere shouldn't be expected to foot the bill. If they don't have anybody to pay the bill, then nobody should be doing this. Simple. If there's not money for this to be funded, then this shouldn't be going on. It's about as simple as that. Wouldn't you guys say? Would you guys agree with that? You can't pay, you can't stay. If we can't pay, then you can't stay. I mean, that's how it is anywhere. If you live in an apartment or if you live in a home and you don't pay your rent or you don't pay your mortgage, if you can't pay, then you can't stay. So I don't understand why that same rule and that same logic is not applied to these people. I mean, welcome to America. That's what us as Americans got to deal with. If my rent ain't paid on the 1st, I'm gonna have a letter outside the damn door. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to KO Kid Fit. The undocumented bros back. They back at it again. They back at it again. They don't stop. And now they got free transportation. So now here it says, still, there is something particularly disappointing about New York City officials' response to the asylum seekers unfolding under the gaze of the Statue of Liberty in the harbor. Here's my question. What is disappointing about New York City's response to the asylum seekers, other than the fact that asylum seekers have been prioritized over Americans? The only thing that disappoints me about this is that these people here who have not contributed to the tax revenue of the United States or to the GDP of the United States are getting prioritization over New Yorkers who are homeless already, mainly black New Yorkers who are homeless already, who've fought in wars, who've paid years of taxes, who've been a part of the economy, who were born here, regardless if they didn't do any of that other stuff. United States is supposed to offer rights and privileges to citizens who were born here. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Nearly 4 in 10 city residents were born outside of the United States. Waves of immigrants, Dutch, Irish, Italian, Jays, Chinese, Latino, and African Caribbean immigrants, along with many others, helped build this city. What did they build? Oh, here we go. So did millions of Black Americans who chased dreams in the city after fleeing the tyranny of Jim Crow South. Shout out to Jay. What's good with it, bro? Yeah. They're trying to give credit to all of these immigrant groups. Only one group of people who they're attributing to building New York City is non-immigrant, and that's Black Americans. We're not immigrants. So I don't even know why they're mentioning us in these accomplishments of immigrants, because we're not part of that group. We're not part of the immigrant group. Now, again, shout out to, everybody in the chat. We know what time it is, right? But when outside entities attempt to insert themselves into the things that we talk about and the things that we discuss, they try to sow seeds of division, right? So I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is not any kind of diaspora war content. This is not any kind of hit piece on non-FBA people or anything like that. Y'all know that I ain't with that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, no, this is an issue that affects FBA people, and everything that I'm saying, I believe, has been a fair critique. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, AB. How they put FBA last. But honestly, if they're talking about all these immigrants, we shouldn't even be on that list. What that is them trying to lump us into people of color. Right, exactly. Black Bitcoin Key. So wait, the millions of FBA who outnumber the immigrants is put last in the article. Facts. Facts. Now, here's my question. Why do you guys think that they did that? Why'd they do that? Shout out to Eddie Lee. Eddie Lee says in New York, the immigrants living at the hotel are throwing away catered food and kids are being left alone using alcohol and drugs. Isn't there an increasing problem with prostitution going on as well? The rich legacy doesn't seem to be on Mr. Adams' mind. Since the moment migrants began showing up last spring, he has made clear he wants little to do with the practical or humanitarian issues their arrival has raised. Really? Now, again, I don't agree with Eric Adams' decisions, right? I believe that Mayor Eric Adams practices benign neglect against FBA. But this right here, for them to say that he's not interested in the migrants and wants little to do with practical or humanitarian issues that their arrival has raised, it's amazing that they can put lies like this in the paper. Chiem says it's the sombreritos. They want to hide our history. Facts. And then about 10 to 50 years from now, they'll be saying that they did it. Just give it. If people don't start protecting, listen, man, if people don't start protecting the history and stop letting people into the barbecue, in 50 years, the Amistad story is going to be tied into World War II somehow. Rosewood is going to be tied into World War II. Shout out to Patricia Slade. What's good with it? Yeah, Mitch McConnell actually said that black people weren't Americans. Were you guys aware of that? If you guys were aware of that, give me a thumbs up. Did you guys know that? I want to let you guys know what these people say. Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna put this link to this article here in the chat. So if you guys want to look at it, you can see it. They say stuff like this all the time. Then they turn around and lie about it because they're cowards. Look at this. Mitch McConnell said that black people, look at his face in that picture, looking like a blowfish. Mitch McConnell said black people show up to vote just as much as Americans. What's that mean? Shout out to Carlton Way. What's that mean, Mitch? What's that mean? And this is a lawmaker. Shout out to Maxima. What's good with it, bro? It looked like he had an accident in his pants right here. Or he looked like he saw like that. All those people that was at that riverboat fight are about to run up on stage. He looked like he might have a little bit of brown running down his leg. That's what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? He might have a little bit of brown liquid running down his leg. But yeah, though, that's what he said. Believe it or not. Not surprised. These kind of people make these kind of comments all the time, and then they try to give you a hard time when you bring it to them. You said, "Oh, what's wrong? You're sensitive." The fact that you said it, that's what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any business saying stuff like that. Now remember, he's part of the I don't see color tribe. And I gotta agree. Mitch needs that chair therapy. Facts. Hey, shout out to the them riverboat warriors. You know what I'm saying? They using air chairs to put folks in wheelchairs. You know what I'm saying? And I did not mean to hit that, so I apologize. Don't ever use that as an excuse if you get caught. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to hit that. John Guillory says, that's wild. If we are not Americans, then what are we then? Yeah. And if we're not Americans, we definitely don't need to be paying tax. You know what I'm saying? We definitely don't need to be paying tax. But that's what Mitch McConnell said. And he's not the only one that said something like that. If you guys listen on the Crimecast channel, I always talk about how Tommy Tuberville said that black people commit all the crime in the United States. But you know, we're not supposed to pay attention to that. That's the same guy that said that he supports white nationalists, right? So we need to start calling a lot of these politicians what they are. If you ask me, I believe that it's a fair assessment to start calling Ron DeSantis and to start calling people like Tommy Tuberville, Marjorie Taylor Greene, we're going to call them race realists. They're no different than Stephen Molyneux. And since that's the label that they want to wear, that's the one that we should embroider onto their foreheads. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says the mayor has provided basic services for the migrants, and rightly so. But at every turn, he has done so grudgingly. I don't know if you grudgingly sleep in the shelters with the migrants. I don't know if you can do that. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got another stream sponsor. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Show some love to my man AB Promotions. My man AB Promotions said, on a side note, if we were Jamie Foxx, I would have told some burritos to go call the Christian church anti-Semitic. Take it up with them. Fuck out of here. Facts. Look, check this out. I had planned on editing up some videos, right? That's what I had planned on doing. But AB Promotions kind of just brought this to the forefront. So I'm gonna ask you guys. I had a live stream planned. Let's show AB Promotions some more love. I hit the space button by accident. I had a live stream planned to talk about that, but then I was like, nah, I'm about to make some more videos. Y'all see, I've been on a video making binge. I like making videos. Believe it or not, I like making videos more than I like going live. You know what I'm saying? It's just that going live is faster and easier. You know what I'm saying? But I was thinking about doing a live stream about that. And if I do the live stream, I would do it before I shut everything down for today. So my question for you guys is, if you guys want me to do that live stream, then give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't want me to do that live stream and go ahead and do what I had planned, then give me a thumbs down. All right. So let me know. Your boy about to go get some. Your boy about to try to go get some shrimp and grits. Your boy about to try to do. Your boy about to try to get some shrimp and grits. And if they ain't got no shrimp and grits, about to get some fish and grits. Y'all about to mess my day up. Look at all them thumbs up. Y'all about to mess my damn breakfast up. That's all right though. I got y'all. I got y'all. I got y'all. We'll do it. All right, we'll do it. How many of y'all saw TD Hip Hop Media's video about Jamie Foxx? If y'all saw TD Hip Hop Media's video about Jamie Foxx, throw a radiation emoji in the chat. TD did a real good video about the Jamie Foxx. Yeah, Starbucks and shrimp. Facts. Starbucks and shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know nothing about that. That's the breakfast of champions, like true life. That's like champagne and Fruity Pebbles, but my version. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Mr. Adams has complained loudly that the immigrants were a burden on the city's resources. His administration shut down a welcome center at the Port Authority bus terminal where volunteers had slept for months, helped collect asylum seekers to service. Okay, so I want you guys to pay attention to these figures. He said that the migrants would cost the city $4.3 billion over the next 2 fiscal years, a figure New York's nonpartisan budget watchdog said is probably $1.2 billion too high. He tried to undo a 1981 court decree that requires the city to provide shelter to anyone who needs it. So Eric Adams did try to get that court decree undone, and they wouldn't undo it. Facts, Hurricane IQ, shrimp and grits. Shrimp and grits. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. He erected giant tents, now dismantled, to house the migrants in remote areas of the city, inaccessible to public transit, then made it exceedingly difficult for nonprofit groups to provide critical services to this vulnerable population, like legal assistance and even help navigating the city and its laws. Such services could help migrants acclimate to life in New York City and could ease complaints from neighbors of hotels the city is using to house many migrants. The Adams administration has been warehousing asylum seekers instead of putting the country's largest municipal government to work, helping them build lives in New York or wherever else they want to go. Really? That's what's been going on there? That's what's going on there? using luxury boats to house people for free is giving people a hard time, really? That's the standards of what a hard time is now? And real quick, shout out to everybody watching. We got 64 live viewers and we got 57 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button, get us over 60 likes, that would be great. I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening there. This summer, the Adams administration printed flyers to dissuade migrants from seeking new lives in New York, leaflets that sum up the mayor's overall approach and betray the promise and spirit of New York as a home for people from around the world. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but New York should be a home for people from around America, not from around the world. And again, I find it fascinating the light that they're trying to paint Mayor Eric Adams in, as if he's just this entire time been this anti-immigrant tyrant that has just been raining terror and stomping out any hopes of anything that immigrants want to do in New York City. That's not a very accurate representation. You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, Eddie Lee, because I was going to say the same thing. I had a video planned to talk about that because I was curious to see if any of those white people got arrested, because they said that they arrested some people and put out some search warrants, but they kept it concealed of who it is that they arrested, right? And who it is that they put the arrest warrants out for. I'm curious to see who it is that they got. You know what I'm saying? New York's leaders are supposed to be different. The city's voters didn't intend to elect a mayor who acted like Greg Abbott, the Texas governor who sent migrants to cities across the country, including New York. Mayor Eric Adams hasn't sent asylum seekers anywhere. I want you guys to pay very close attention to this. See, this is where Mayor Eric Adams rolled snake eyes. You turned your back on black people, and now everybody is jumping on you. I don't know what to say, homeboy. I'm shout out to Tori and Rain. I feel nothing. You finding out the hard way that the world is correct. Nor did they vote for someone like Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, the presidential candidate who used asylum seekers for political sport, flying them to resort island of Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts at taxpayer expense just to quote unquote own the libs. New York can do better. First, it seems clear that Governor Kathy Hochul of New York needs to step in and demonstrate the concern lacking from City Hall. Oh, so I guess what we need to do is we need to have Kathy Hochul step in and do Mayor Eric Adams' job, because like every other black male, he's not capable of doing his job. This is very interesting. When will these black politicians learn that this is the fate that you have coming to you when you decide to sign on and work with this evil empire? When will they get it? When will they understand? How many times have we seen this pattern play out? This isn't rocket science. You know what I'm saying? It may be in the best interest of both taxpayers and the asylum seekers for the governor to name an expert manager to oversee the crisis. They want to call in a damn consultant. They're saying that Mayor Eric Adams is so incompetent, we need to call in a consultant. Wow. It may be in the best interest of both taxpayers and the asylum seekers for the governor to name an expert manager to oversee this crisis, which is clearly too much for the mayor to handle, a kind of New York asylum czar. So now, okay, here's my question. Who would be the person that has dealing with something like this on their resume to do it effectively? Who's the person? We're going to come up with this as a solution. Okay, cool. Bet. We'll do this as a solution. Now, my question is, who's the person that's going to Who's the person that's going to be handling this? Where's the person with the experience that has the resume to do this? Who is that person? Who should we get? Anybody got any thoughts off the top of their head? Who's an immigration expert that we can call in to save New York City right now? Who can we call to do it? It shouldn't be that hard, right? That wouldn't free Mr. Adams to simply throw up his hands and walk away from the obligations the city has to those tens of thousands of people, whether they turn out to be temporary guests or newly minted New Yorkers. The mayor could make a big difference quickly by welcoming established nonprofit groups, not no-bid profiteers, to provide critical services where migrants are being housed. Those services should include English language classes, as well as basic job certification courses to help asylum seekers find work. Despite Mr. Adams' cold approach, many nonprofits and private volunteers and some municipal workers have engaged in this humanitarian work. In one small example, Dr. Theodore G. Long, a senior vice president at the city's public hospital system, noticed many meals at the facilities used to house migrants weren't being eaten. So now, shout out, who was that? Somebody in the comment section had mentioned something about, I think it was Maxima. He said that the food was getting thrown out. So this substantiates what he was saying. He said, it says here the food's not getting eaten. Many meals at the facilities used to house migrants weren't being eaten. So how hungry are they? So he conducted a survey to find out why. The results, we swapped out roast beef and did Italian food instead, he told me. I figured let's ask the people what they want instead of guessing. That's the kind of welcome a city of immigrants provides. So they getting some good food. They getting roast beef, pastrami. You know what I'm saying? I don't get a damn hot pastrami sandwich every damn day. I'd like one. I want some fettuccine. Shit. The hell? They giving out plates of fettuccine Alfredo up there?